Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Raheem here. Welcome. Let's slay some demons. Brothers and sisters and brothers, we're in critical times, and it's getting more critical every day. Time of unprecedented trouble. It's getting very, very dark, and all these false lights out there are shutting off one by one by one, causing the people to start to collide with one another in the darkness. All types of confusion. But it's this confusion that's going to cause us to come together, because it's going to get so dark, so intense, that you're going to seek out your brother and sister to unite, because you're going to see it's hopeless to stand on your own. You're going to give up that false pride. You're going to give it up quickly, because they're coming after you. They're after you now. But you're too blind to see it, because you got the NFL and NBA and all that stuff running, ravaging through your brain. That's the purpose, keep you distracted, or they close in on you. All good stalking animals sneak up on you. They don't come and announce their presence until they have you in their grip. Then they growl. See, growl of success. Because the Democratic Party's been working this for a long, long time. And now they're about to accomplish their mission. So here we are, brothers and sisters. So you're coming to the light, whether you like it or not. You're coming, because it's so dark. There's only one light that's going to still be lit. There's only one light that will allow you to see anything, and that's the one you're going to come run into. Because when intense darkness, you seek out a light, and there's only one light will be standing. So you're coming. There's no doubt about it. I see it clearly. So this presentation is going to try to illuminate a few things, try to dispel all the confusion about who God is, about Farad, right? About the Christ. Even the Sunnis said there'd be two. Said there'd be the Mahdi and Jesus. But there's a lot of confusion going on. Most of it is by design. Most of it is by design. The purpose is to confuse you. The last thing they want you to do is unite. They know once you unite, it's all over. You don't need any guns. You don't need any missiles. Your unity is more powerful than any atomic bomb they have. Your unity will blow away the civilization. Because everything is based on thought. Thought is pressure. Thought is force. And thought is the greatest force in the universe. And once all our thoughts are in sync, just think about that. 17 million of us, all our thoughts are in sync. That's going to blow away. They don't want that. See? No, it's not 34 million. There's 17 million. Half are demons. They're the ones that's making sure they're blocking the light. They're the ones blocking it. They're the ones amongst us. Some of them knowingly, some unknowingly. They do all types of things that keep you confused, keep you from seeing the light, because they're phased with their master. See, that's their fate. But they want you to think that's your fate also. Because if you unite, they go down too. So let's go into the presentation. Hope you understand. So let's go here. Suleiman, David. David, Suleiman. As soon as you tell y'all don't pay attention to the Bible, because they're talking about all these gods and stuff. So there's only one God. So they don't consider the Makti or Jesus gods. And so when you start talking about other, oh man, there's only one God. See, they misunderstand because why? If it means just one individual, why do they keep saying we all the time? Because they don't understand the nature of God. Some of them by design don't want to understand, or if they do understand, don't want you to understand. Some are just ignorant. Some of them do know. See? Because God, in different levels, ultimately, Islam is mathematics, mathematics, Islam. That's the foundation. That's it. That's everything. And God's a part of that. I mean, that's if Islam is mathematics and mathematics, Islam, that's everything. That's God. That's it. On that level. See? So, but we, right? We are the essence of that. So we're the God, maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. With the consciousness of it. Maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. See? Us. Like your body has many cells, many organs, but you one being, but there's many parts that make you up. Allah is he who comprehends all vision, but vision comprehends him not. That means he's part of all vision. See? All vision encompasses him. But one vision cannot comprehend the whole thing. So he encompasses all of us. But one individual can't encompass the whole thing. Because we all have different perspectives. No matter who you are, some have greater, wider perspective than others, right? The supreme being has a greater perspective than the lesser beings. But all of our perspectives together make up the God. The original man, maker, owner, queen of planet Earth, God, universe. Sweet. So we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on a specific part of it. We're going to focus on supreme beings. Because they tell you there will be two. And it's a special time in history because this never happened before. And as a result of Dr. Yaqub and Dr. Shabazz. Because as I've been trying to explain to you, right, the Quran also says Allah makes everything in pairs. Before now, you just had the one being. It's like at one time, there was only one being, right? And the being separated itself into two, male and female, two sides of it. At this point in time, right, the separation took place in the analytical side of the brain and the spatial side of the brain. And that's what this is all about. See, David represents the analytical side of the brain. Suleiman represents the spatial side of the brain, right? So in that sense, then you have two beings, but one is exceptionally analytical, and one's exceptionally spatial. Because before it was like ambidextrous, like balance. But once you make an individual that's 90% of his brain is spatial, he's much more powerful than he was before on the spatial side. And the technical, he's much more powerful technically than he was before. So now you come into a new creation, everything becomes new because the spatial side, the creative side is greater than ever has been before. Because the whole brain is concentrated just on the spatial side. And technical is bright, is more brighter than before because the whole, you got a being, this whole side is focused towards the technical. That's what it's all about. but it's still one God because the nation makes one God. Who is the original man? Say the original person, the original man, Asiatic black man, Asiatic black man, Asiatic black man. Maker, owner, creator of planet Earth, God user. That incorporates also the female. Okay, let's move on. So as far as the Bible is concerned, we talk about this David. Now David is the one that sits on the throne, but his son Suleiman was the one that built the temple. David would rule, but Suleiman would be the high priest. See, he's the one that's responsible for the people, but he's the spiritual side of the equation, and David is the technical side of the equation, also the administrative side or the executive side of the creation. He's the executive side of the nation. See? So he would be the one, he makes the decisions that carry on as far as how to rule. He's the ruler. So we're going to see what the scriptures say about that. See, because all this stuff is in the scriptures. And one of the reasons why this is something I've been meaning to talk about. I kind of moved up my schedule. Because these clowns on Sunday, Farrakhan is clowns, right? See, they're desperate. And that's good. They're supposed to be desperate because they're failing. They won't be around much longer. That you can get, you can take that to the bank. Hold on here, what's going on here? What's going on that? You can take that to the bank. They won't be around much longer. They're desperate. So they grasping at straws, trying to explain their position. The week before, right, they're trying to explain why he hasn't produced anything in 42 years. He's been begging for money for economic programs for 42 years. He hasn't produced a damn thing. So now their position is now, well, he's not about that kind of stuff. See? He's not about that, see? He's about restoring people or whatever that word he used. See? You know, Elijah Muhammad says we have to build a nation. He said he's not about that because he has to have an excuse for why he hasn't done anything. But yet, he had an economic program. He got his people out there begging, their sisters out there doing fundraising stuff, begging for money for economic program. But now, all of a sudden, oh, well, that's not what I'm about. See? We're not about that. See? We're about restoring people or lifting people up, whatever name he called it, whatever word he used. Because he got to make an excuse. But he got an economic program for himself because he lived high and mighty, right? In his mansions and wherever he does is expensive, pretty little dresses he wears and stuff. So he got to find excuses. So now, right, that was a previous, this Sunday, right? See, they try to explain that BS they be teaching. So now they come with this thing, they're going to try to go into, got this fool up here, well, he's going to break down the book Habakkuk. And he told an outright lie about what Muhammad taught about that, because I was there. And Muhammad never taught the BS he's saying. Because they were walking a tight line here, see, because they're working with the Sunnis. And they're working with the government. Because they're all enemies against us. He's a demon. See? But he's got to maintain some credibility with the people he's trying to deceive. Just like you have these people that undercover agents, right? Where they have credibility with the people they're trying to deceive, right? They still got to obey the people that they're working for. See, they can't piss them off. And that's the tightrope he's running. He's walking through. See, so we're going to talk about those things. We're going to see what the scriptures say, because he don't teach the scripture. We do. We don't pick and choose. We accept it all, because it's all valid. That's why Prophet Muhammad, he's a seal of the prophets. He came to certify that all the scriptures and all the prophets and messages before him were from Allah, from God. That's what it means, seal. When you seal something, you certify it. Not that it lasts. What context You seal something that's last. That's what it means. Because the Quran tells you have to believe in the Bible. You have to believe in all the scriptures. It tells you that. But they say, no, we can't accept the Bible. Yeah, but you say you can't be a Muslim unless you accept it. So they tell you, no, you can't accept it. So you got to come with a different meaning what the seal means. See, somehow it means he's the last one. If Allah wanted you to say that Prophet Muhammad was last, he would just say he's the last prophet. He's a seal of prophets. No, he's a certification that all before him, right? And because the Bible came before him also. The Bible's not a new thing. See, the unsealing of it is a new thing, but the Bible came before him. So he's certifying that all those things are right and correct. Now we have different translations that's all messed up. Elijah Muhammad spoke to that. He says he says the poison book for two reasons. One, because the way they use it against us, and two, because the translations. Because you can find translation for every taste, but if you get translators, the one we use, there's no problems with it. Only problem is your misunderstanding of it. Our people are lost for lack of knowledge. Okay, let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, the angel key. As angel key looks like, we're not going to go into details about it, but it talks about the creatures, right? The first one was like a lion, second one was like a calf, third one, face of a man, the fourth one, flying eagle, and then you had the one that's down the center, right? It's 7 parts, and that's the 7 spirits, or 7 golden churches. So each part has 7 parts to it, and that leaves the sun on top, right? That represents Suleiman. So we're going to talk about that. Suleiman, the word Suleiman comes from son of man. Son of man is a play on words. Suleiman, son, that's Latin. Su-Oman. See? Elijah Muhammad said something different. Elijah Muhammad did not know the angel. He did not break the seals. So that means anything he said about it was a guess. Farad did not break the seals. If he did, show the proof. Because why are you still confused about it if they broke seals? They comment on it. Everybody can comment on it. It was there to be commented on. But only the sight understanding of it would come when the seals were broken. So only one person in this whole universe could do that. No one on the earth, under the earth, over the earth, above the earth, in the earth, in the heavens, whatever, could do it. That excludes everyone except that one individual. So if you claim that someone else has done it, then show the evidence. If it's not, then that means you don't know who you're following. But Elijah Muhammad never claimed he did it. He just spoke on it and way to his understanding of it. Okay, let's move on. Now, before we get into this, we're going to talk a little bit about this legion, the chief demon. See, because the reason I'm discussing this is because they're the main part of the problem. The demons, they're amongst us, all this confusion. See, so here you got it right here. We're going to do the story of Balaam. Now, Balaam, right, what Balaam was, see, Balaam is Farad. He's riding his ass. See, you wouldn't understand it unless you understand the angel. Once you understand the angel, key, you understand what he's talking about. Because here you got to put this, you can't understand any of that unless you got the key, and you got to map that to the key. So here you got Farad, he's riding on, because the position that you see Farrakhan there, those are horses. Here, you see a horse, right there we see the black down here, the red, see the black, he'd be the white horse, then it'd be the red horse, then it'd be the black horse, and you don't see the green ones covered up right now because that deals with that situation. But the thing is it's greenish yellow, not pale. So when you understand that Farad is riding the white horse or the white ass. See, they call it ass in Balaam, in the book and about Balaam. Balak are the false Israel who tried to get Farad to curse us and bless them to signify that they're the true seed of Abraham instead of us. That's what it's telling you about. And he says, no, he wasn't going to do that. So when he came here, he says, no, accept us as the true seed of Abraham, not them. He refused. So in this situation, he's riding the ass. Now the ass, right? He won't obey. He will not obey Farad. He won't obey Balaam because he's afraid this angel, right? That's before him. Now this angel represents Sunni land because the sword right there is, I got his golden because that's what it is. The top part of each one of these nations is gold. Each red part is 7 parts of two top wings of each nation is the golden part. That's the Islamic part. So in Asia, the Islamic part are the Sunnis. So that's having in gold there. But that represents the calf. So first, the red ones represents the lion, right? The brown ones represent the calf. The oriental represents, the yellow represents oriental, and the white represents Caucasians. So therefore, that means that the calf right there, the golden part would be the golden calf. That's the Sunnis. See, you didn't know what the golden calf was before. Even Sunni, they did, well, they got all kinds of conjecture, but they really couldn't define it. That's the golden calf, Sunnism. See, because even Muhammad said that 66, 7, about 80%, 90% of the people called following him in the end would be hellbound. He said he wouldn't know them and they wouldn't know him. That's their own, they said that's in their hadith. So how are they going to tell you about Islam when it tells you that they don't know what the hell they're talking about? Even their own prophet denounced them. So that's what the golden calf is. See, so you got Farrakhan worshiping the golden calf. He's afraid of the golden calf. You see, so he won't obey Farad because he's afraid of the Sunnis. See, so he won't go this way, go that way. He won't move. He won't move forward. He won't go left or right. So therefore, right, he gets chastised by Farad 3 times. First time, that's disembowelment. Second time is about to happen universal. That will happen this year, very soon. Universal humiliation. And third punishment would be this miserable death. See, that's his punishment because he's going to suffer miserable death. That's his punishment. That's what that's all about right there. So I want you to understand that. See, because you can't understand unless you you have to get the angel key to understand what it's talking about. Otherwise, you're trying to figure, well, who's Balaam? What is he riding ass? Why is he riding ass? And what does this mean? What does that mean? And so forth. When you get this, it's come crystal clear once you get the key. See? So I just want to point that out. So let's move on. So here you go. And it says he's a son of perdition. See, he'd be sitting in Elijah's seat once Elijah removed. See? And he declared himself what? What did it say he'd be doing? I'm a young God. Isn't that what they said he would be doing? Okay. David, Solomon. And the angel, they reference two. One is King of Kings and one is Lord of Lords. No, sorry, I'm back. No, sorry, apology. One is King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and one is Lord of Lords and King of Kings. That's not just a misspelling, mispronouncement. It's 2 beings. One is called King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and one is called Lord of Lords and King of Kings. There's 2 individuals there. 2. In chapter 19, we got one, that's Farad. He's riding, right, on a white horse. It's not the same one in the first seal that's riding a white horse. That's another individual, right? And then you got the Lamb. He's also called Lord of Lords and King of Kings. So Farad is called King of Kings and Lord of Lords. But the Lamb is called Lord of Lords and King of Kings. So it's 2 of them there. It's 2. See? So, but he's bound by a suit, so he can't go out and say there's 2 gods. He can't say that. See, because when they got rid of the Nation of Islam after Elijah Muhammad departed, they started, as they call the Belialians. Now, if you went to any one of and Farrakhan was Wallace's chief minister. So if you went to any of those little masjids they had, right? I went to a couple of them, right? And you had Sunnis from Mecca. They're being back of their little congregation, because they had you sit on the floor and all that kind of stuff, right? And there was auditors to make sure you said exactly like you're supposed to say it, like the Sunnis say it. What the hell? And you had wanted to be FOI. I mean, people that followed Elijah Muhammad was going for that when he wouldn't even allow them into his temples. So now they're sitting back auditing when they was the one that betrayed us and put us in this situation. And then we heard from them 40 years. They even had mosques up in Detroit for over 100 years. And they never, one of them never came out to the black community and said, boo. But as soon as Farah comes and start teaching us, start teaching, and we start waking up, right? All of a sudden, here they come. Brother, y'all got it wrong, man. You got to do it this way. I mean, you can't believe no, Farah, man, he's a fraud. And Elijah, he's a liar. That's their position. Yet Farrakhan telling you to go and pray with these people. Go to their mosques on Friday and pray with the same people who's saying that your God is a fraud and your messenger is a liar, and he has you praying with them and you don't get it yet. You're gonna sit around here and take it have a communion with somebody calling your mother a hoe, your father a punk, and you can sit and have communion with them? Is that how it works? And they're calling your God a fraud and calling your messenger a liar, but he's telling, and you don't get it? And then he's saying bring the devils in our eye and you still don't get it? And he's kissing on the devil, saying they ain't devils anymore, you can't call them devils anymore, and you don't get it? That alone, and then he admits that Elijah Muhammad said he would be a hypocrite, was main hypocrite to his face, out of tape, he admits it, and you still don't get it, and you're still there? That means you're a demon yourself, or you're a total fool if you're still there. And then he pimping these sisters out doing fundraising for them, and you still there? A lot of read, and then he admits his father was a devil, and you still there? But it shouldn't be an exit door. You know why? Because y'all should have broke that damn exit door down a long time ago. Broke the whole damn house down.
Grace to you and peace from him who is and who was and who is to come, and from the 7 spirits who are before his throne, and from Jesus Christ, the faithful witness, the firstborn from the dead, and the ruler over the kings of the earth.
This is what Elijah tried to tell you on Sunday. Elijah Muhammad was the firstborn from the dead. No, he was not. Because you don't understand the scripture. See, you assume things, but without the key, you're assuming. You need the key. See? You understand the key? Elijah, right? When you understand the key, the dead represents the original nation. But Elijah is a Levite. He's not one of the original nation. You understand the key? So he wasn't one of the dead ones. The first to rise from the dead would be Suleiman, because he comes out, he's born, he's given birth from the original nation. He's the firstborn of the dead ones, because the dead one's the original nation. See? So they got that wrong too. Only way to get that, or assume that, is say, well, we all dead over here together. That's true, right? But he's not part of this nation, original nation. He is original. He's original. But he's not part of the tribe of Shabazz. That's what we're talking about. Because our nation is dead. African nation was not dead. But the Levites came over here with us. When they brought us over here, they brought Levites too, because we was in Africa with the Levites. You had three tribes: the tribe of Shabazz, the tribe of Levites, and tribe of Hindus. They came over with. That's why they went through hell with us, and that's what so-called NOI is. See, so, but he's not the firstborn of the dead ones. You have to understand what they talk about here. See, okay. So that's why I pointed out. This is the first chapter of the angel. And that person you see in the angel walking around amongst the churches, that's not Suleiman. That's not Suleiman. Adjustment here. Oh boy. Okay. This is problematic. Hold on, brothers and sisters, for a minute. Okay. I'm going to have to expect that. Not sure. Okay, well. Okay, I'm going to have to tolerate that, I guess. Okay, brothers and sisters, have a little technical difficulty here. Anyway, that's what that's talking about there. Let me go back up here for a second. This. One thing else I can try here. Okay, that's not the best solution, but you'll have to do. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's move on. Now, in this one here, in David, in book of Daniel, change something right here real quick, a little bit. In the book of Daniel, it's talking about, it's very important, talk about the Ancient of Days. The Ancient of Days could not possibly be Farrakhan, it could not be possibly Farad, because it gives descriptions, it says, he'll be like lamb's wool. But see, you have two things here. Now, what we explained to you is Suleiman is Ancient of Days. But you have two things going on here. So let's see what it says. Let's listen to it.
I beheld till thrones were placed, and one that was ancient of days did sit. His raiment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was fiery flames, and the wheels thereof burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands of thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld at that time because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and its body destroyed, and it was given to be burned with fire. And as for the rest of the beasts, their dominion was taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. I saw in the night visions, and, behold, there came with the clouds of heaven one like unto a son of man, and he came even to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion, and glory, and a kingdom, that all the peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
Now, we have to pay attention here is, it says he's like the Son of Man. If he's like, that means he's not. So it's not the Son of Man he's talking about that's coming to this Ancient of Days. So if you say Faraj is the Son of Man, that's what they're saying. That's incorrect, right? That's Elijah's opinion. He had a right to his opinion. He did an excellent job. I have no quarrel with him whatsoever. But it says this one's like the Son of Man, right? So he's not the Son of Man, but he's the one that gets the kingdom. But it has to be given to him from someone else, this Ancient of Days. So who is the Ancient of Days? If the Ancient of Days is Farad, then who is Farad giving the kingdom to? If the Ancient of Days is Farad, then who's Farad giving the kingdom to? Right? But we said Farad is going to be the God who's going to rule it, so he must be the one that receives it. So who is he getting it from? We're going to move on to that in a minute. You got to put all the things I'm getting ready to show you, keep in mind. Because this one, right? See, it says until thrones were placed, actually thrones were cast down. That's a bad translation. So he has to cast down, he's cast down those thrones. Whose thrones? That's the NOI. That's the people in charge right now. He casts those down. Then he sets. So he casts them down, then he sets. That's why I said with these translations. He sets, right? And explains who he is. It says throne like fiery flames. That's not the wheel, because you got to understand that Daniel, that's talking about them in the furnace. That's another story. You understand? But it says now it said this is during the time that the beast is being destroyed. So you get a time frame. That means it's time now. If you believe we're at the end, and as Farrakhan said, America's unraveling, it's going to, so that means it's doing this time right now. So this should be happening right now. So it means there's somebody, right, that's about to, that's casting down thrones, and he's about to take charge. He's about to take charge right here in America, because this is where the beast's going to be destroyed at. So he's right here. He's getting ready. He's cast down thrones, right? What was that story about the son of perdition, who the Lord will consume with the spirit of his mouth, but destroy with the brightness of his coming? Someone is in this position right now doing this. Someone has broken the seals. they're getting ready to cast down all the old thrones as people claim their power, right? He's ready to set, right? And then everybody's going to unite around him, right? And then that's during the time the beast will be destroyed, right? And then, excuse me, let me just disable this thing here. I'll leave it like that for now. And then, after all this is done, then he turns the kingdom over to this one like the Son of Man. So have all these Farrakhanites and the scriptees explain if that's Faraz is the Ancient of Days, who doesn't have hair like lamb's wool, neither Farrakhan nor Farad. But if he's the Ancient of Days, then who is he turning the kingdom over to? If he's the God. Explain that one. Okay, move on. Now, what's this saying here? This is how you put these things together. Let's see what he says.
But the fact is, Christ has been raised from the dead, the first fruits of those who are asleep. For since by a man death came, by a man also came the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, so also in Christ all will be made alive. But each in his own order, Christ the first fruits, after that those who are Christ's at his coming, then comes the end, when he hands over the kingdom to our God and Father, when he has abolished all rule and all authority and power. For he must reign until he has put all his enemies under his feet. The last enemy that will be abolished is death. For he has put all things in subjection under his feet. But when he says, all things are put in subjection, it is clear that this excludes the Father who put all things in subjection to him. When all things are subjected to him, then the Son himself will also be subjected to the one who subjected all things to him, so that God may be all in all.
You get it? Connected with the one before? After he breaks all his enemies down, right? He conquers all of them. Then he turns over to God, Barad. Got to connect the two together. That's who Suleiman is. He's the Ancient of Days. He's turned over everything to Farad, to the God. See, God gave him the power to do it. Isn't that what Elijah behind? That Christ had the power to crush the wicked. So he gave him the power to do it, right? But once he's done it, he returns it back to God. It's like you take and you go out there, you have a servant. You have a servant to go out there and, just like you have a general. He go out there and he whip the enemy's ass and conquer him, but then he comes back to you with his conquest. That's what Suleiman's job is, to go out there and go to war for Farad. Because Farad is David, and it says right here, right, that he's the son. Farad is Suleiman's the son. That's what it's talking about. Farad is the God, he's David, and Suleiman is his son. Son of Man is his son, spiritual son. He's the one that goes to war. But once he conquers all his enemies, he gives it back to Farad. That's what it tells you right here. And he says, once he's raised from the dead, because he's one of the dead ones again, right? See, the first fruits. So that sounds like Elijah there? Elijah's not here now. See? So it says he must ranch, he put all enemies under his feet. But then as all these things, right, he takes and returns it, right? Because he says, first since by man death came, and Christ, but it's coming that he tends. He says, verse 24, then comes the end when he hands over the kingdom to our God and Father, his Father. See, we has abolished all rule and authority and power. You got to put them together, brothers and sisters. And this is one of the things he does. One of the first things he does is get rid of demons, right? The tares.
He answered and said to them, He who sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, the good seeds are the sons of the kingdom, but the tares are the sons of the wicked one. The enemy who sowed them is the devil, the harvest is the end of the age, and the reapers are the angels. Therefore as the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of this age. The Son of Man will send out his angels, and they will gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and those who practice lawlessness, and will cast them into the furnace of fire. There will be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. He who has ears to hear, let him hear.
You hear it again? The Son and the Father, right? It says, after he gets rid of all those offend, all the demons and devils, who get all them right, then then the righteous will shine forth as a sun in the kingdom of their Father. Return back to Pharaoh. He rules. But Suleiman, right, he's the one that he's the high priest. He determines who you get into the kingdom, because you have to be in his book of life. But because that's what you have, if you don't believe in him, isn't that what the Christians tell you? If you don't believe in him, you cannot get into heaven. If you don't believe in the Son, then the Father don't want to have nothing to do with you. That's what it had to be in his book of life. Is this coming together for you, brothers and sisters? It's not coming together for the demons, because it doesn't matter to them, because they can believe what they want to. We don't want them. We don't want the devils either. I'm trying to make it clear to you. See, I'm talking about the Father and the Son. When Jesus talking about the Father and the Son, he wasn't talking about, Allah gives the Son. See, the Quran talking about, when the Quran talking about that sense, there's only one mathematics. You don't have another kind of birth of new type of mathematics. It's only one true reality. There's only one universe. See, that's what it's talking about. A lot of them just produce another universe or produce another mathematics. That's what it's talking about. Let's move on. Now here, they want to lie about what he said about Habak. Because, see, they got to deal with Sunni land. And Elijah Muhammad told you there was two. But he tried to say, well, no, one of them is really Satan. Satan's a God too. No, that's not what Elijah Muhammad taught. That's what Habak means. They're talking about two again. Talking about Suleiman and David. See? It's talking about God and the Lord. See, we're going to see about that in a minute. See, the Lord came aside, rose up from, and then we'll see what, read it.
And he said, The Lord came from Sinai, and rose up from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them.
Okay, now here's Habak. The other one just confirms what Habak's saying. Let's see what Habak said about this.
God came from Taman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran. Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. He stood, and measured the earth, he beheld, and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered, the perpetual hills did bow, his ways are everlasting. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation?
See? It's talking about Suleiman and Farad. But the way they're going to try to configure it, and they put Elijah Muhammad's name on, was a damn lie, because I was there. Elijah Muhammad never told anything like that. And you can go to Message Black Men and Fall America, and he talks about, and doesn't say that one was Satan. That's Farrakhan's BS again, pulling crab eyes behind, calling it honey, right? That's the two again. See, one is Suleiman and one is Farad. See, and Suleiman, right? He's the one, because Farad is doing the protecting Joshua from the sky. But Joshua was the one doing all the fighting. He was the one doing all the fight on the ground. Read Exodus. It says, the God was protecting him from the clouds, from the sky. But Joshua on the ground, he was a general on the ground, kicking ass on the ground. Farad was his Air Force. See? Because Suleiman went through the same pressure that all of us went through, because it was this intense pressure, this 5 years intense pressure that no nation ever been under, that produced Suleiman and produced the 144,000. That's going to the final seed of the first fruits. And what they call the first fruit, because this process was started by Dr. Shabazz 50,000 years ago, and so now this is the first fruits. See, and Suleiman will be the first one that seals, and then he bring all the rest along with him in this book of life. That's what it's talking about. See, and Faraj did to make sure nobody harms the fruit. See, once this nation is brought back together under Joshua, because when Moses came, he was supposed to, get some neutral, get ready, and raise up the Levites. That's the nation of Islam. Because it'd be Joshua that would raise up Lazarus. But then the priesthood would be transferred over to, because Aaron thought he had the priesthood, but he wasn't worthy of it. Plus, he's a demon. So the priesthood was taken from him and given to Joshua, who deserved it. He's a proper priest. He's the one that took us out of here and took us back home. That's what the scriptures say. Now they read the scriptures. See, they don't tell you to read the scripture. I do. Read the scripture, see if I'm saying anything incorrect. But they tell, oh, no, that's corrupt. See, the part about Faraj is okay, at least he won't say it in front of the Sunnis. See? The part of Elijah's okay, but he won't say it in front of the Sunnis. But when you get to Aaron, oh, no, man, there's something wrong with that one. See, because he won't mention that one. And if they mention it, they twist it. Because he said, like he had this one clown, I got the tape, he got me and said, oh, man, in this so-called Mexican they got up there, right? And why, oh, man, that's a blasphemy right there. Right? So, the people had got out of control, right? And Aaron had to come and get him back into control, which is a lie. Read it. It says Aaron's the one that got him out of control with his Sunnism, with his Sunnism and Scientology and all that crap and golden calf. See, it's clear for anyone that wants. It's clear for anyone that wants to understand. Make sure we got this. Okay, this looks good. If anyone that wants to understand, it's clear. See, so that's what's going on. So that's 2. See, God came from Teman. That's Rod, the Holy One from Mount Paran. You have to understand the angel, understand that Holy One, because they refer to Suleiman as the Holy One. See, in the scripture say he was the wisest man ever lived. Well, he would have to be. Why they say it? Because he's the only one who was able to break the angel, the keys, the 7 seals. Because they had this book for 2,000 years and they couldn't touch it. They never even got one verse right. See, they couldn't touch it. They had the book and couldn't figure out, couldn't get anywhere near it. He's the only one who could do it. Farah couldn't even do it. That's why he says the wisest man ever lived, because no one ever could do it but him. Okay, let's move on.
Although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines, the labor of the olive shall fail, and the fields shall yield no meat, the flock shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in the stalls. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord, I will joy in the God of my salvation. The Lord God is my strength, and he will make my feet like hinds' feet, and he will make me to walk upon mine high places.
This continue of about, so it's telling you, right? See, that this God that they're claiming that is Satan, they tell you that's not who God is. That's our salvation. But now these liars go, whoa, because see, they got to satisfy the Sunnis, because they can't say it was 2 gods, so one of them has to be evil. That's not, and they say Elijah Muhammad taught that as a damn lie. There's lies, and damn lies. And, so that's why I'm really doing. I've been meaning to get to for a while. I've upped it up because they start talking these lies about Elijah Muhammad. So I figure I go ahead and talk about this now. It's really not as detailed as I would plan to do it, but it's still good enough for those who are listening Those who are studying Angel, you understand it, right? And it gives you something to talk about. See, so that's what's going on there. So like I said, I pushed up my schedule a little bit because now these other folks, they're incredible. But hey, you can't blame them. You know, they said, well, perseverance, per, perseverance, preservation is the first law of nature. They're trying to live. You know, the Christians, you know, the devils, they love life more than you do. They scared to death to die. They'll do anything to keep living. They'll live in pain. They could be in pain and still, you know, we don't love life that much. Because we got all the life we want. We don't need to be in. See, when something's really precious, you know, and see, if something's really precious, and you know it's, you know, you got to hold on to it because if you lose it, you never get it again. That's why I love it so much, because they only got one. They're mortal. They only got one. We're mortal. We're immortal. We live over and over and over again. Death is just a nap for us. It's renewal. So we come back with a new body, right? Brand new family, new ideas, new everything. You know, your brain is limited. Your brain is not infinite, right? Like your memories. If you lived a million years, you know that you wouldn't even remember what happened to you 1,000 years earlier. If you lived to be 200, you couldn't even remember what happened to you when you was born. Because you can't store those memories. You only can store, it's like your computer. Computer run out of memory. Hey, I can't do nothing else. So we have to constantly renew ourselves. If you was around here a million years from now, you think that you remember anything that's happening right now? A lot of you can't remember anything. A lot of you, if you were 50 years old, you can't remember what happened when you was 20, 10, and 20. You better think about that. We renew ourselves. But we don't lose our memory. See, we have a thing called, see, all the stuff you see right, a lot of Muhammad said they model the stuff out of what they understand, what they learn about the creation. See, we store our memories, but we don't store it here. So you can go back, once you get back, those things I'm not going to talk about here because just right now we need to concentrate on getting the hell out of here and deal with these demons. They said, no heart, no mind, you know, can comprehend or have any idea of what the hereafter is going to be like. It's going to be great more than you can understand. But the point is, we can do things that right now you would call miracles. We do things now that you wouldn't even believe. Just like right now, if you tell people what you're doing right now, 50 years ago, there was no internet 50 years ago. There were no cell phones 50 years ago. There weren't even computers. So if you told people about this, they would, man, that's what, brother, you have no idea. But brothers and sisters, the beautiful news is that you're going to be restored, right? If when you make it hereafter, you make it, your body's going to return to its youth, and you're going to live in youth as long as you live. You never see old age. We're wilting now. We're not old age. We're wilting. You ever seen a plant that's wilting, right? Because it's not getting enough sunlight, enough nutrition. It wilts, but it looks like it's about to die. But once you give it nutrition and everything, it will come back strong like what? You're wilting. You're wilting. The Quran tells you you'll be transferred in a twinkle of an eye. The Quran tells you, I'm telling you, restore to your youth because you're wilting. Your body can stay young for at least 1,000 years, at least, in the age of 16 years old, strong and healthy, disease free, not just strong, but you look just like you was when you were 16 years old, and you maintain that for at least 1,000 years. Jeremiah says, or Isaiah says, the youngest one to die will be 100 years old. That's because they were just crazy. They were just wicked. But we don't have no wicked people amongst us. So your life would be like a life of a tree. We suffer any deprivation, brothers and sisters. It's not old age, it's we're wilting. And now you're about to be restored in a twinkle of an eye. See? It's beautiful. And it belongs to you. I'm not giving you anything that doesn't belong to you. But if you refuse it, then fine. See? Because if you don't want to come back in unity, then we don't want you. Because unity is the key. And unity is what gets your names in the Lamb Book of Life. Because if you ain't in there, say, nobody comes to the Father but through me. Who is the Father? David. Who is me? Suleiman, son of man. Yeah, if you ain't unified with him, nobody's going to waste time with you. See, we're not going to be back to where we are right now, 50 years ago, fighting with demons and arguing. No, we're not going to be doing that.
And he showed to me river of water of life bright as crystal, going forth out of the throne of the God and of the Lamb in midst of the broad way of her, and of the river here from and there from wood of life making fruits 12, according to month each giving back the fruit of it, and the leaves of the wood into cure of the nations. And everything put down not will be yet. And the throne of the God and of the Lamb in her will be, and the slaves of him will render sacred service to him, and they will see the face of him, and the name of him upon the foreheads of them. And night not will be yet, and not they are having need of light of lamp and light of sun, because Lord the God will shed light upon them, and they will reign into the ages of the ages. And he is saying to me, not should you seal the words of the prophecy of the little book this, the appointed time for near is. The doing unrighteously let him do unrighteously yet, and the filthy let him be made filthy yet, and the righteous righteousness let him do yet, and the holy let him be made holy yet. Look, I am coming quickly, and the reward of me with me, to give back to each as the work is of him. I the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end, happy the washing the robes of them, in order that will be the authority of them upon the wood of the life, and to the gates they might enter into the city. Outside the dogs and the druggers and the fornicators and the murderers and the idolaters and everyone liking and doing lie. I Jesus sent the angel of me to bear witness to you these upon the ecclesias. I am the root and the offspring of David, the star, the bride, the belonging to morning.
You parse all this? I am the root and offspring of David. There it is. Suleiman said Jesus, he's the son of David. Right? He says, they said Jesus is son of God, right? So if Christians say, well, Jesus is son of God, but he's telling you who the Father is. He says he's the offspring of David. So David is the God. I mean, it's right there, right? And also, it says a lot of things here. I'm not going to go into all the details. I put ellipses because I cut some of it out right here, right? But you can go read the whole thing. It's chapter 20, 21 of the Injil, of Revelations, right? And it says, what Farrakhan says, he ain't into, he claims he's Jesus, right? He says, he ain't into building. He ain't into economic program. He's into reviving people or restoring people, whatever the word he used, right? That ain't what this says. He ain't trying to convert anybody. What he says? He says, what? Those unrighteous, let them stay unrighteous. Those that filthy, let them stay filthy. He ain't trying to transform anybody. So I put the lie of Farrakhan right there. See, because no matter, every time he hides on the rock, I lift the rock up and then he got to run find another rock. So am I trying to convert anybody? He ain't trying to do that. He ain't trying to change devils to angels and change demons. He ain't doing all that kind of stuff. He's trying to get his people out of here. Read it. That's what they're saying. Well, no, he ain't about building. He ain't about the economic program. If that's what you think, you look for him to build hospitals. No, he's about transforming people or whatever. Is that what that's trying to transform? He said, if you filthy, you stay filthy. You want to stay just like that's what Elijah Muhammad said. He says, if the devils try to turn you righteous, the science will tell them, no, you stay just like you are. That's Elijah Muhammad's teaching. It's on the internet. Theology of Time. See, no, we're going to convert. See, we're going to bring devils in our eye. We're going to convert the world. We're going to change. That ain't what this is saying. That ain't what this is saying. So if you filthy, stay filthy. And we don't want no dogs in our kingdom, right? So outside the dogs and druggers and foreign druggers, aren't they trying to legalize all kinds of drugs now? Ain't that what America's all about? Every commercial is about drugs, 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 drugs. In other words, pharmaceuticals, some translate pharmaceuticals, that's drugs. Or some say sorcery is still drug. They try to cover it up. Drug. That whole thing is about drug. That's how they think they'll come to feel good and get to heaven through drugs. What happens? What's going to happen to those people? See? And it likens Jesus to a star. Remember the star? The sun on top of the key? It says the offspring of David. Remember, whole thing, Jesus supposed to be the son of God, right? But it's telling you who his father is. And what didn't say Joseph. Brother, it's right there. Brothers and sisters, right there. Get back to this first begotten of the dead stuff. See? See, the dead. See, here you got the African nation up top, Asian nation, Oriental nation, Caucasian nation, right? The dead are scattered amongst the nation. That's the dead. See, Elijah is one African nation. He's one of the Levites. He's not one of the dead. They're not a dead nation. We are. See, but Suleiman he is. Firstborn of the dead. I'm a young God. None of edition. All the proof is there. It's so clear about God. I mean, even a blind person could see this clown. You could be deaf, dumb, and blind, and you still could see, hear, and feel him. Do you feel me? Do you feel me? Oh boy. Okay, brothers and sisters. Do you feel me? Mm-mm. So we don't worry about those people that don't want to hear it because they're demons or just told is. We don't want them. If you're filthy and dumb still, stay filthy. Now we want to deal with the ignorant because a lot of people are ignorant. No, the ignorance is all of us are ignorant to something. Unless you know everything, you're ignorant to something. There's a lot of things I don't know. What I don't know, I'm ignorant to. That's not a crime. Crime, being stupid is the crime because stupid means you remain ignorant. You don't try to deal with that situation. Because if you're sick and you don't try to heal yourself, then that means you must be suicidal. You don't try to seek help. You must be a masochist. So if somebody ignorant, that's not a crime. So you try to help out of their ignorance. That's what we're supposed to do, help each other, teach each other. Elijah Muhammad came to try to teach that. Rob came to get us out of ignorance. But if that person remain ignorant, resist knowledge, that means they're stupid. So let them stay stupid. Don't waste time with them. We got a whole lesson about the rusty locks. See. So I'm going to leave you with this. One lesson says, Son of Man is in the middle of the earth experimenting with high explosives. What's that talking about? Now we understand who Suleiman is. The earth represents European countries. He's in America. Experiment. What does it mean when you experiment? That means you're studying it. So he had to study the angel to break the seals. And that's a high explosive. It's an atomic bomb. The bomb. The ATTOM. The atomic bomb. That's the one. Right? That's going, once we unite, it's going to blow everything out of, it's going to rejuvenate the universe, reset it, get rid of all BS, put us back to mathematics standard. See, more powerful than it ever was before. More powerful than it was. We were powerful 76. You see what we did for the last 76. What you think we was doing for the last 76 trillion years? Sitting there crashing our butt? You look out there, that's what we did. Everything out there, that's what we did. That's why I got these powerful if you understand anything about, when you look out there right now, you see those stars, you don't see stars that exist right now because it takes the light millions, in some cases, millions of years to get here. So by the time the light got here, the star may not even be there anymore. Or it may be in a different place, because what you see out there is not where it is right now. The further you look out, right? So what you're looking back in time. See, when you look out deep, you get a telescope, look real deep, you're looking back millions of years. And so you're looking for higher, bigger and bigger telescopes. Guess what they're looking for? Looking for you. They're trying to see us flying around there. They probably seen it. Because what you're seeing right now, you don't understand what's going on right now. But see, right now, they're confusion. Because these people, look, these people that claim, right, they're false Israel, right? They know the scripture. Exodus, they was born, they raised from the womb on, they know the scripture. That's their whole religion is based on Exodus. So they know it 100% backwards and forward, ups and down, in and out. So when they saw COVID-19 coming in, they knew exactly what that meant. It was an easy calculation, 1619 to 2019, right? A plague in 2020 that will kill the firstborn, which is the elderly, and pass over the real true seed of Abraham. They knew exactly what that meant. Exactly. See? But they're not going to tell you. And when they saw all these people dying, they say it was them. And then they hear the fact that Africa, see, why was it passing over Africa? They got same genes, we black Africa. Why was it passing over them? That's what's saying. It's passing over us too. But it's not passing over the demons. See, because they don't have the same DNA we have. They got black that's mixed in with theirs, but they're Caucasian, right? The master's children. So they hid the fact that it was passing over black Africa. They're not affected by it. I got all the tapes and everything. That's why they try to stop it on that's why right now they trying to censor everything that's on YouTube and on Facebook and everything else. They don't want you to know that because they know the prophecy. They're trying to tell you because they don't want you to see that. See? So now you got two situations. See? Now the sheriff is closing in. The sheriff is closing in, right? And the mob, they're trying to figure out, well, let's get rid of evidence. One group said, let's get evidence. Well, let's try to talk them into not turning this in. Let's try to talk them into forgiving us. See? So when they come in, they won't be any evidence because they'll say, hey, man, they ain't doing nothing to us. They ain't been raping us, killing us, beating us, man. We're having a good time here. See, that one group trying to, don't kill this. See, give them. Another group saying, let's get rid of them, man. That's what you got in America right now. You got half of America want to just get rid of us. Half of them say, hey, let's try to be nice to these black people. Let's have all these commercials mixing together, right? Let's get rid of oppression. Let's get rid of defund the police, right? See, let's legalize this and do all this stuff. That's confusion because when you're under pressure, right, you're trying to figure out what to do. And so they're trying to figure out how we're going to do this, and they're fighting with each other. And the sheriff is steady closing in because they know the sheriff is closing in. He already said a signal, that's the plague. That sheriff is coming, hear a siren. Ooh, that means they're coming in. That siren was this plague, killing our ass. Not affected. Why do they keep it a secret? It would not be big news if all the whole planet is being ravaged by this plague and black Africa is not being touched. Wouldn't that be big news to tell everybody? If it was the other way around, you don't think that'd be on news day and night? If this plague was raging everybody else, but the only people wouldn't be affected by Europeans, wouldn't that be news day 24/7? So why do they keep that hidden? You can go check it out. I haven't talked to any black person out there. Now I hate the term black because black is like a mud term, covers everybody, right? But not one even heard that fact that black Africa wasn't being affected. And then the ones you tell them, oh, well, it's because of Jesus. Well, whatever. See? They knew it. So that's see, because when you understand what's going on, then you understand, right, why they're thinking, why they're saying, you understand the climate. You understand when it's winter time, it's winter, then you understand why people go around going to the store buying clothes, heavy clothes, and wearing heavy clothes stuff. We understand the circumstance, the season. The season is your destruction. Eliminate evidence. Because you're about to rise. Your nation is being born. But it'd be two groups. It says one, right, will be born before. Treat out all destruction. They won't hear the faintest sound of raging water hell. Those ones in the Lamb's Book of Life, those ones that Pharaoh would deliver, Michael would deliver. The other ones, they would go to the travail. That's the nation of Islam, the one that's rejecting the Levites. part of our nation, because they've been grafted in. They got to go through. They got to go through. See, when they talk Malachi, the gold and the silver, it's silver. When you put both in the furnace, the silver takes more heat to purify than the gold does. So you have to leave them in the furnace a little longer. It's all mathematics, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. Salam alaikum.